Right, good morning. So up to Siman Kuf Tzadi Gimel, we're now talking about Zimun. Zog the Mechaba. Shnayim she'ochlu. If two people eat, afal pi she'birchas hamoitzi poitze echad is chaver. Even though that one person can be moitzi another person with birchas hamoitzi, which is often what we do, mitzvah lecholek, that when it comes to benching, each one should go their own way and bench themselves. She'vorech kol echad birchas hamozen la'atzmai. Each one should bench themselves. Let's just do the Mishnah Berurah on that. Sifkot Aleph, Poitze Echad, Rotzolema. To Bahamoitzi, Aflechat Chile, Yochel Kol Echad, Lotze Subrichas Chaverei. That's what happens on a Shabbos meal often. One person makes moitzi, and then everyone eats the challah. One person is moitzi others. However, for Birchas Hamazon, Mitzvah Lecholek, which means Koloma says Mishnah Berurah Sif Beis, Sifkot Beis, to Afal Gav the B'di'ev Daf Birchas Hamazon Bevada Yois Adei Chaverei. For sure, one person can be moitzi, Hamoitzi. It's better that each one says it themselves. And the reason is at the beginning of the meal, they're all about to sit down and eat together. If there's das, they're all joining together. So therefore, the hamoitzi, one for everyone, is appropriate. At the end, when they're daitan niparzem, each one's going to be going off on their own way. Everyone should be benching themselves. And there's a second reason why hamoitzi. There's one broch often who's he's being moitzi everyone, but when it comes to benching, everyone does it themselves. And we're not going to resort to one person being moitzi another. We should be choishish for the first reason. And that will be enough kamina. Because according to the second reason, it's dafka the chumrah of it being deraisa makes it important that everyone does their own thing. But according to the first reason, it all depends on the focus. On hamoitzi, everyone is about to be to eat together. Therefore, one can be moitzi the other one. Birchas Hamazon, they're going to bench. They're about to bench and then go their separate ways. So we're choishish for that reason, and therefore we moitzi for hamoitzi and not for Birchas Hamazon. Okay, back to the mechaba. B'amed dvarim amurim. When we say mitzvah lachalek, that each one benches when they know how to. But if one of them does not know how to bench, that the one of them benches and then he's moitzi the other person. If he understands Lashon HaKodesh, but he doesn't know how to actually bench. The person who is being yotze has got to listen literally for every word. Says the Ramah, moreover, the person who is benching has got to have in mind to be moitzi the other person. But if he doesn't understand Lashon HaKodesh, then Shmiya is not going to help him. Okay, let's do the Mishnah Berurah there. Sifkot and Gimel. Echod Yedea. Ein lekamen sim kuf tzadi zayin sif daled Mishnah Berurah daled sheyichaven lotziyoi v'gam hashemeh tzorech sheyichaven lotzis. Kamesh goes b'siman reshut Gimel sif Gimel v'ayim mashik zav nesham. So everyone, the moitzi has got to have in mind, and the yotze has also got to have in mind. Avalim einoi. So this is going on. If he doesn't understand, this is avalim eina mevin eina yotze b'shmiya. But if he doesn't understand Lashon HaKodesh, then he's not going to help. Ulafizeh hanoshim. Because in those days, this is the Chaim is writing in the early 1900s. This is before the Sarah Shnira's Beis Yaakov movement came about, and the concern was that women may not understand the Lashon HaKodesh, or they may not understand what they're saying, and therefore someone can't be moitzi them. Therefore, yivarchu la'atzman. They should say it themselves, and no one should be moitzi them. And so too, the Amoritz who doesn't understand Lashon HaKodesh, you shouldn't be moitzi him, rather he should say it himself. There are those who say, actually for Lashon HaKodesh, you can be yotze even if you don't understand Lashon HaKodesh, as opposed to other languages. That if I were to say it in Lashon HaKodesh, there are those who say, I'm being moitzi you, and therefore even though you don't understand Lashon HaKodesh, that works. But if I did benching in French, and the other person does not understand French, then it doesn't work. Now, why? What is the svar for that? So if you look at footnote 2, he gives a very geshmak chiluk. Uvatam chiluk bein loshen hakodesh l'shah l'shainis. The difference is this: kosav abi alocha le'inyan hakerik krishma sheloshen hakodesh uloshen mitzad atzma. That it's intrinsic. V'lochein af she'enem even yislech over ma she'en kein b'shah l'shainis she'enem ki'im mitzad haskomas hamadina v'lochein im shan she'hamadina ein yodin l'dab loshen zeh v'rak hu v'oid anoshim yodim. In other words, it's a very geshmaka point. Rabbi Tat says this is enough to make anybody from. Let's see who he says. Well, what does that mean? That in Lashon HaKodesh, this is called the Shulchan. Now, this is intrinsically a Shulchan. This is called the Kisei. This is a chair. That's exactly what it is. Mashen Kain in English, this is called the table, and this is called the chair. But if we decide amongst ourselves, we're going to call this chair, from now on this is going to be called the table, and this table from now on is going to be called the chair. So long as we all know what we're talking about, that would work. But in Lashon HaKodesh, this is intrinsically a shulchan. For example, we say, Orach yishlach lonu bracha, b'bayezev shulchan zeh, because shulchan is related to the word shlach. Yishlach lonu bracha, b'bayezev shulchan zeh. Inherent in this is the recipient of our bracha, sent down by Kodesh Baruch Hu, etc. In Lashon HaKodesh, all the words are exactly that. So therefore, if you don't understand Lashon HaKodesh and you just say the words, then that works. But if in French you just say the words, you don't understand French, then there's nothing. That's what he's saying. Okay, back to the Mishnah Berurah. V'chein ha'minhag shenoshim yotzos yidei chavozim b'shmiya me'amavorech afal pi she'ein mevin es klal. Someone can be made to them with Lashon HaKodesh, even though they may not understand the actual words. Yeah, but we'll see soon. We'll see. Nowadays, Baruch Hashem, they understand, and so it's a different story. But I'd imagine he's grouping together Noshim with Amaratzim because they just didn't know. There was no education for women, so I guess they didn't know. That they should listen. They should be yotzei from listening. He should be made to them. Better is that the women or whoever, if there's someone who doesn't understand, doesn't know, should say milah b'milah with the person being mekadesh, b'lachash im efshel lahem, t'bazeh yetz l'chol haposkim u'b'lav hochi nochen lasas keinu kula ama, t'yef shelechavim l'shma hetev k'mavur le'el b'simen kuf pei gimel, ziv zayin ayin shom. Okay, take a look at number 7. Where are we up to? Number 4. Yeah, number 4. This is interesting. Now, Dvarim Elu Amurim, Ka'asher Hashoimim Einam Avinim Es Divrei HaMekadesh. Imagine, we do occasionally, we have a Shabbat UK. So we have people come to us, it's the first Shabbos. They don't know anything. They've never kept Shabbos before. Their ignorance is gefährlich, it's terrible. How do you deal with that? So, Ka'asher Hashoimim Einam Avinim Es Divrei HaMekadesh, they don't understand the words of Mekadesh. They understand that the person standing there is doing something holy, is saying something about the sanctification of the day. They don't know what he's doing. He's just standing there with a glass of wine, he's saying some words. He's maybe talking about the weather, I don't know. So therefore it's important to say that I'm about to bless the Sabbath or sanctify, whatever it is, so that at least they understand the theme of what you're doing. Okay, let's go back to the Machaba with 3 lines to the bottom. If, however, so till now we've talking about 2 people, but if you've got 3 people together, Einam Rishoim Lechalik, they can't split now because they've got a chiyuv of zimun. Ushnayim she'ochlun, you've got 2 people who eat, mitzvah she'yichazrach hashlishi, you should try, if possible, to find a 3rd person, she'yitztaref imohem lezimun, who can join them for zimun, v'chein arba chamisha also lahem lechalik. So too, she'kol min yitzchayvu b'zimun, because once you're in a group of 4 or 5 people eating together, then there's an obligation to hear zimun. Kimin she'yishoy zimun l'kol chabura, because there'll be 1 zimun for the whole chabura, ad asor, until 10 people. For Oz, because once you've got 10, then you've got a chiyuv to say Elokeinu, and then you've got 10 going through to 19, you can't split, because each of those people, but once you've got 20, then 10 can go one way, 10 can go another way, and because each one's got an Elokeinu with their zimun. says the Ramah, Yechayim Mechalek Im Yirtzu, V'nirli Duadin B'Shisha, Ein Mechuyuvin L'chayik, and Im Yirtzu, V'chev Rakim Right Yirtzu Nechlakim. If there's 6 people together, if they want to, 3 can go one way, 3 can go another way, but they're not Mechuyuv to do it. It's a mitzvah to try if you can to get 10. Okay, let's stop there. Let's just do the Mishnah Berurah up to this point. Okay, Sif Kotan Vov, Ein Rishoyim Lechanik. The Kvan is Chayvu B'Zimun K'Sha'achlu B'Yachad, because once they sat down together, there's a Chiyuv Zimun for them to all be together, and they can't break off. Now, okay, we'll come back to this in a second. We'll talk about a chasna. What if you go to a chasna and you don't wait to the end? What to do then? V'da. The chiyuv zimun hu dafka k'she'ochlu pas shechayav narav berachas hamazon. The chiyuv of zimun is dafka when they all eat bread together. Aval im ochlu peiros afilu min ein mishiva minim loy. K'dekayim am b'simin reishu gimel de ein zimun lepeiros. There's no zimun if you're just eating fruit together. V'yesh machmirin, that's how I think we paskin. V'yesh machmirin b'shivas minim letzrichu zimun. To do a zimun when you've got you're eating from the shivas haminim. V'lachein tov shelo yikbu shleisha b'yachad al shivas haminim. Kedei lafuki nafshin mitpluksa to avoid this machlekas. U'mibrichi yosef kosov sh'aminik poshet likver kama anoshim al peiros mishivas minim v'chein lechol pas habo b'kisnin. Okay, interesting. Now, take a look at number 7. You go to a chasna. You don't want to stay to the end. You've got work the next day. It'll go on till midnight, and you want to leave a bit earlier. What to do? V'hamishtatef b'chasna v'hischel lechol yachad im kol ha'orchim, and you're beginning the chasna with them. Shem hischel lechol lovoi levad, af reitz l'sayim mukdam ein chayv b'zimun. Because if you want to finish early, then it could be you're not chayv in zimun. V'kasha olav l'sakev ad she'izamnu v'yivachu b'chas hamazon hash b'shev brachas. Kosav b'shad shuvas igros Moshe. Sheha'etz elozeh. The answer for this is this: She'yoyim b'feirish koydem achilosei. You expressly state she'eina mischaven itzaref l'kvios. You're not joining the kvios, the setting, or levorech yachad im shahas masubim. You're not going to join the kvios of this group and to join their zimun. And that exempts you from zimun. And therefore you're not going to be obligated for shev brachos because of sheyish lemechazeh lemaisa kasheyesh letzorech vehechchlozes. So if you've got to leave the chasna early, you should have in mind that I'm going to bench before everyone else, and this is not my kvias. He's got to get up early for work, and he can't stay till the end of the chasna. Now, look at this very cute further footnote towards the end of that first paragraph. V'chein muva b'shem ha'chazan ish. The She'omar Lagon Rav Chaim Kanievsky K'she'ochel b'yeshiva, when Rav Chaim Kanievsky was a yeshiva bacher, and Umir Lachsa Limuda, he had a quick meal and he wanted to run back to the Beis HaMedrash, so he asked his uncle the Chazon Ish what to do, because if I got to wait for the zimun, everyone else is eating and it's taking longer, I want to get back to the Beis HaMedrash. So Shechaven K'shenoyt El Yodov She'ina Roitz L'Starf L'Zimun Ba'asara Rak B'Shleisha. So the Chazon Ish told him, just have in mind when you wash to join a zimun of 3 and not of 10, and therefore we won't have to wait to find 10 people to do a zimun. However, so Rav Chaim said, okay, but can I just wash myself and just bench myself, and I don't even have a chiyuv of 3? So he said to him, Ha'im af lezimun b'shleisha ha'reizazu, he'shivu she'ein kedai levatel zimun b'shleisha. So the Chazon Ish told Rav Chaim that 3 he should have, but 10 you don't have to wait for, but 3 you should wait for. Interesting. You saw already from a young age that he was keen to get back to the Beis HaMedrash. Interesting. Okay, let's just finish off the Mishnah Berurah there and we'll stop. Mitzvah Pesif Kotan Zayin. So mitzvah sheyichazru, you should try and find a zimun of 3. Hainu imhu imohem, but based on when you're in the same house. Mitzvah litin lei davar ma lechol kadei sheyistarif imohem. If you've got 2 people sitting having lunch together, bring over a 3rd person, give them something to eat so that they could join. Even if he's a waiter, then he can do that. Bring anyone, even the waiter, over, he eats a bit with you, and that would suffice. If there's only one person, one does not have to try and find 2 more to join him. Only 2 has to find 1 for the zimun. Even if, because if you got 4 or 5 or something and one of them leaves, you'll still have 3. Nevertheless, so if you're in a group of 4 or 5, each one has still got a chiyuv to do the zimun, even though there would still be a zimun without him. So if you've got 20 people, 10 can go one way, 10 can go another way. They don't have to. Don't say that each, you should dafka try and set it up. The 10 go one way, 10 go another way, so you're marbe brachas. But rather, they can stay together. The other on the contrary, they should all 20 should stay together. Why? Bein Esher and Bein Shisha, whatever, whether you're 20 or 6, whatever the number is, Mishum Bereiv Am Hadras Melech. The more the merrier, it's more Muhuda if they're all together. Rag, the Medina in Issa Bedovim Yischalku. There's no Issa if they're Mechalik. V'yesh Shecholkim Al Zeh, others argue with this idea, Usvir Lehu, the Kivin Sheyesh B'chol Kas Gamkein Miktsas Reiv Am, since there is Miktsas Reiv Am, you've got 10 in one group and 10 in another group, you still are fulfilling the mitzvah of Bereiv Am Hadras Melech. From the sky, mitzvahs Birchas Zimon B'kol Chad V'chad, V'lochish Kulim Heim V'yochel Lasses K'mesha Yitzah, Afil Lachat Chila. Even Lachat Chila, you can make it 2 lots of 10 or 2 lots of 3, etc., etc. And then we said it's a mitzvah. Lachazar Acha Asora says Mishabura Yud Beis Kadesh Yuchelim Levarach B'Shem, because it's a mitzvah to try and get 10. Because you can do it with the Shem Hashem and the Varech Elokeinu. V'ayim b'achreinim da'afilim hem shiva mitzvah la'chaze ad acha oid shleisha. You've got 7 people together. Try and find another 3 to fulfill this. V'ayim mashik zav nulel b'sif kotten zayin. Okay, we'll leave it there. Continue tomorrow.